Hello everyone, welcome to Red Snapper. My name's MJ and this is my season preview for Young Avengers. I'm going to talk through all of the cards, some light synergies, and give my star ratings for them. I'm absolutely massively excited for the Young Avengers season. I'm a big Young Avengers fan and I think some of these cards are incredible. I think some are duds, but I think some are really good. Let's start off with Kate Bishop. She's a 2/3. On reveal, add 2 arrows to your hand. And I have given her 4.5 stars. Yes, you'll see I have added 0.5s. I didn't quite feel right. There's some cards that are really close to each other in power this month, but I wanted to differentiate them better, and just going forward I wanted to have a more precise star rating system. But what are the arrows? So there's 4 possible options and she's going to add 2 to your hand. It's completely random. You got a basic arrow, is a 1/1. On reveal, if you play a card at this location next turn, plus 3 power. That's literally Hawkeye. Bit weird that Hawkeye is literally as powerful as an individual arrow, but fine, that's what they're going with. Then you've got the acid arrow, it's a 1/2. On reveal, switch sides. You've got Pym arrow, 1/1. Ongoing, if your side of this location is full, plus 3 power. I think that's like a slightly less powerful Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man is plus 4, right? And finally, Grapple Arrow is a 1/3. On reveal, after you play your next card, move it to this location. So this is kind of like a new power, a new move power, which we haven't really seen before. It's similar to Ghost Spider and Iron Fist, but pulls to this card. So very interesting indeed. I think in terms of the arrows, they're all generally decent. I think the Hawkeye one is acceptable. I think the acid arrow is brilliant. 1 energy clog is super potent, super powerful. The fact that on turn 5 you'd be able to play a 4-cost card and potentially block one of their locations is going to be really, really good. The Ant-Man one is decent. If you know, you need to slightly build your deck with that in mind, but we'll come on to that. And Grapple Arrow I think is very solid. Could be a little bit awkward because it's going to force, you may need to like change your strategy and stuff, and if you've already played Grapple Arrow, that could cause you problems. But that being said, I think generally speaking all of the arrows are really good, and we have seen in the past with cards like Snow Guard and Agent Coulson, these cards that add multiple cards to your hand, they add you options, they can be really, really good. It gives you more tactical, strategical ability, and you can choose and switch what you're going to do. So really, really good. That's why I've given her 4.5 stars. You know, you may think that's an absolutely crazy score. Listen, 2/3, stat line's completely fine, and the cards that she's adding to your hands, they are cheap enough that you're probably going to be playing them out, or at least going to be able to play them out. And as I say, we've seen that adding cards to your hand can be so strong. So if you look at Snow Guard, for example, Snow Guard, really, really good card. The cards that she adds to your hand are 3 energy, or 3 cost cards. And you're often, well, not often, but you're sometimes not playing out either of them because it can be a little awkward to fit them in. It's going to be much easier to fit in these 1-cost cards that Kate is going to create. And also, I'd probably say they're generally speaking more useful than Snow Guard's abilities. Snow Guard's abilities are a bit more specific, and they can certainly help you win games with things like turning off Limbo. But I think these Kate Arrow cards are a bit more general use. In terms of some synergies, I've highlighted a couple on screen here. The Collector, I think adding another card, or having another card in the game that adds multiple cards, so you've got Snow Guard, Coulson, that's going to, I think it's going to push Collector even further, which is nice. He's an alright card, to be fair. And Sasquatch, you're adding a couple of low-cost cards to your hand, and that's really going to help. And check out my upcoming Snap or Pass video, because we'll go into some other synergies, because I'm going to call it out right now. Black Swan, this is going to be her time. Black Swan, when she entered the game, was a bit of a damp squib, didn't really do much. She was difficult in the kinds of decks that you'd want to run her in, because it doesn't really matter if on any given turn, it'll be late game, towards the end of the game, you can play your 1-cost cards for free. Because if you had them in your hand, why weren't you just playing them on the earlier turns 1 and 2? Why weren't you playing them out? If you're playing Black Swan in a zoo style deck, you've already started going by then, so it's not really helping you that much to have this late game low cost. However, with Hawkeye Kate Bishop, those cards don't start in your hand, so you couldn't have played them on turn 1. So mark my words, Black Swan and Kate Bishop, they're going to go together like peanut butter and jelly. Right, moving on to my next card here. Not my card, but it is the next card that we're getting. In fact, we're getting it the same week as Kate Bishop. And is that because they synergize so well together? This is Marvel Boy. It's a 3/2. After each turn, give 3 of your 1-cost cards +1 power. As you can see, I've given this bad boy 5 stars. He seems absolutely fantastic to me. He synergizes well with cards like Squirrel Girl, because Squirrel Girl is a 1-cost card and it gets 3 1-cost cards out, or including herself, of course. And Kyra, you're basically going to be with Marvel Boy, you're going to be investing power into these cards, and of course 1-cost cards are fragile as heck to Killmonger, so Kyra is going to stop them from being destroyed. So let's talk about this. The +3 power that he gives each turn, it turns him into, like, if you can get him out on turn 3 and you've already got 3 1-cost cards out, so maybe you did play the Squirrel Girl or there's other shenanigans going on, then he's like, by the end of the game, he's like a 3/14 or something crazy. Is that even true? 3, 6, 9, 12, 5, yeah, 3/14, which is absolutely extraordinary stats. And that is, of course, not even just in one location. That is potentially spread across the board. Or rather, I should say, is spread wherever you want, because it's wherever you put your 1-cost cards. So it's very, very good. Like, incredible value. But even if you don't get him out on turn 3, of course you want him out on turn 3, but even if you don't, if you play him on the final turn of the game even, with 3 1-cost cards no less, this is a massive boost in power, because he's coming down even just as a 3/5, which is just like good stats. It's just like normal stats. Of course, that's not setting the world alight. I'm just trying to say that he's fine in the late game as well. He's completely acceptable. If you were to compare him to a recent vaguely similar card, well, I mean the same cost at least, but Fastos was basically unusable on the final turn of the game. Not unusable, but you don't get any benefit from playing him, and like a 3/3, you're just retreating by that point anyway. So yeah, Marvel Boy just seems incredible. There's so many more synergies with him as well. He's obviously like a zoo card, and I think he's going to be an absolute staple in zoo. One of the absolute most important cards in that deck going forward. And as I said, synergizes well with Kate Bishop, the season pass card of the month. So yeah, there's really good stuff going on here. Let's move on to the next card, Wiccan. He's a 4/5. Wiccan was changed to a 4/7 in the recent patch. I think this actually makes him a little bit better. It doesn't affect my score rating, but I think it's very interesting and opens him up to more decks, and you can be a bit more risky in fulfilling his condition. On reveal, if you spent all your energy this game, +2 max energy. Now, I am enjoying the Discord for Marvel Snap, and I particularly like the spoilers and leaks sort of section, and the discourse on this card has been quite mixed. I think a lot of people, a lot of smart people, I should say, who are good at analysis, are not feeling the vibes on this card. So I'm not sure if I'm coming in a bit hot here, giving him 4 stars. Because, you know, the downside of him is that it's gonna be not the easiest thing in the world to actually trigger this ability. To actually have spent all of your energy in the game, you need to have drawn a 1-cost on 1 or buy one. You need to play a 2-cost on 2. But let's talk about some of the synergies, and then you of course need to play a 3 on 3 if you're not getting Wiccan out early, which you can do via Zabu. So if you can get a 1-cost out of your deck and play it on the first turn, and you can play Zabu, you can get Wiccan out on turn 3, that is going to be absolutely crazy. +2 energy for the rest of the game. That is super, super powerful. The weird, janky thing about this card is that his trigger requirement, the thing that activates his power, doesn't really play well or at odds. Do I mean that? It doesn't play well. It doesn't match his actual ability. You have to have a low curve to have a reliable way to fill out all of your energy up until the point that you play Wiccan. But then in order to get the most out of Wiccan's ability, you have to have high cost cards in your deck. So this is a very interesting and weird style of deck that we might be seeing with Wiccan. I think it's going to be a different style of deck. I think he would fit most well in a shield style deck. I think the way that you want to get to the point of for fulfilling his requirement of spending your energy each turn is probably via generated cards. That's why one of my primary synergies here is Maria Hill. I totally understand the Quicksilver and the Domino route that some people are talking about. Guaranteed to draw Quicksilver, guaranteed to draw Domino. The problem is that's then 2 slots that you're taking up that you aren't drawing Wiccan from. So I'm not 100% sure about that side of it. Whereas if you have card generators in your deck like Maria Hill, if you could get Maria Hill on turn 1 and you've got Zabi, you're absolutely laughing. Obviously, you know that you're guaranteed to hit the early Wiccan. And then maybe the rest of your deck is things like Coulson, Nick Fury, maybe other card generators like Valentina even. Try and squeeze out that value to best utilise that +2 max energy. Maybe Doom and Ultron, because they're really high impact, high cost cards at the end of the game. Maybe Leader even makes his way into this deck. Like I say, it's going to be a very weird one, but a very interesting one. I think his ability is so strong that it would be foolish to rate him any lower. I am hopeful for him. I'm not certain, but let's see how it pans out, guys. Wiccan, cool character. Looking forward to the card. Moving on to Speed. He's a 3/3 ongoing +1 power for each turn in which you spent all your energy. So this is speaking to or in line with the previous card. This is about spending all of your energy. The stark difference between Speed and Wiccan is that Wiccan has a difficult ability to achieve and a really good payoff. Speed has a difficult ability to achieve but not the biggest payoff. +1 power for each turn in which you spent all your energy. If you're playing a 7-turn game, that is what, you could be a 3/10, is that right? Like, it's good. A 3/10 is obviously good. Like, it's not bad. But in any normal game, he could have the potential to reach 3/9. I don't know. I'm not really seeing it. Maybe I'm coming in a little bit low. Maybe it could be like a 3.5. But with this card, he's taking up a spot, first and foremost, in your deck. And you still have to fulfill that requirement. Maybe it might be good. Maybe there's this mid-range sort of really good, strong early curve style, and then leading into cards like Speed and maybe Nocturne and maybe Copycat. These really high power, good value cards, like really good for the cost. Maybe there's something there, and of course I've just mentioned several 3-cost cards, so maybe Silver Surfer could be a consideration for Speed as well. I think he just seems good. Reasonably solid, nothing over the top, nothing too special. And of course, synergies wise, it's a similar conversation to Wiccan. Maria Hill. Also, Hawkeye's definitely going to help out this guy as well. The specific point with Hawkeye Kate Bishop, I should say, Hawkeye Kate Bishop, is similar to Kitty Pryde in the Thena and Silky Smooth style decks. She's really going to help you level out your energy, and so that's in particular going to help with Speed, because Speed gets that +1 power for each turn, even beyond the point that you play him, which is different to Wiccan in that sense. And finally, the last card of the month is Emperor Hulkling. He's a 6/11. At the start of the game, copy the text of a random 6-cost card, and as you can see, I've given him 2.5 stars. Now, you might seem this is ridiculous. You might think that this is very low. It is a low score, and I have to say, I am actually opening caches this week, because I just generally, I think he's in a decent week. He's alongside Nimrod and Cannonball. Nimrod's one of my favourite cards in the game, and I don't have Cannonball. And as I said at the start, I love the Young Avengers, so I just want to get them generally anyway. And I think the artwork's really cool. And actually, I think it's a really cool card, and it's definitely going to provide absolutely crazy moments. It's definitely going to be a super fun card. I just don't think it's going to be a strong one. Because, guys, there's just slightly too many downsides. There's some massive high swings with him. Things like Ultron, Doom, Leader, Eliath. Well, Eliath's good. But those other three, absolutely incredible. Odin, really, really strong. Like, there's some really high roll. Like, Leader is absolutely outrageous. A Hulkling Leader is going to be one of the best turn 6 plays in the game. 100%. That is absolutely mega cracked, mega crazy. Love it. However, there's so many downsides. There's like, I mean, Infinite. Awful, just awful. Literally a half power Infinite with all of that, with all of the drawback. Destroyer, pretty much unplayable. Countless other ones I can mention that just aren't going to synergize well, or are just downgrades. Like things like Magneto. You're not going to feel about how, like, it's fine. It's fine, but you're not going to feel great about having a Magneto. The problem with Hulkling is, why wouldn't you just play a different 6-cost card that you can guarantee will be good? If you want something that's high power, this guy's got 11 power. That's a lot of power. If you want someone with high power, why not play Red Hulk? If you want someone disruptive, why not play Magneto? If you want just a general good use high power card, why not Eliath? Have that extra guarantee that you're going to be able to potentially switch off some powers in the final game. So yeah, I just don't know when you would be playing Emperor Hulkling if you are thinking about this from a competitive point of view. I mean, I'm a player who plays for fun a lot of the time. So, like I say, I actually think he's going to be a fun card. I'm getting him, and I'm definitely going to be playing him. And I think I'm looking forward to it because I think he's going to be fun. I'm not sure that he's going to be that good. Anyway, that's my thoughts, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you're new, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.